Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you today about something that separates those who dream from those who achieve, those who start from those who finish, and those who talk about life from those who live it. That something is consistency. And I'm not just talking about showing up sometimes, I'm talking about being so consistent that you become unstoppable. Now listen, life will throw curveballs at you. It will try to knock you off your game. You will face rejection, failure, criticism, and moments when you feel like quitting. But here's the truth: the person who keeps showing up, who refuses to quit, who does the work day in and day out, no matter what, is the person who becomes unstoppable. That's you if you choose it. The first thing I want you to understand is this: success is not a one-time event. It's not about luck or magic. Success is the result of doing the little things consistently. Those tiny, disciplined actions you take every single day, they compound, they stack, and eventually they create results so big that people start calling it talent, luck, or magic. But you know what it really is? Consistency. Second, consistency builds trust. People will believe in you when they see you never back down. They will follow your leadership when they know you always deliver. And more importantly, you will trust yourself. You will know that no matter what happens, you have what it takes to show up and handle life. That self-trust is priceless. Third, consistency transforms habits. You might not feel like running today. You might not feel like writing today. You might not feel like practicing your craft today. But if you push through and do it anyway, day after day, eventually your actions become habits. Habits don't wait for motivation. Habits don't need inspiration. Habits just happen because you've been consistent. And once a habit is locked in, it becomes unstoppable. Fourth, consistency gives you momentum. You start moving in a direction, and even when obstacles try to stop you, the momentum keeps carrying you forward. And here's the kicker: momentum attracts more opportunities. The doors you couldn't open before start opening because you never stopped walking toward them. People notice consistency. Life notices consistency. The universe notices consistency. Fifth, consistency builds resilience. You're going to fail, no doubt about it. You're going to get hurt. You're going to be disappointed. But when you are consistent, failure becomes temporary. A bad day doesn't derail you. A setback doesn't stop you. You just get back up and keep going. Unstoppable people don't avoid failure. They keep moving through it. Finally, consistency multiplies your results. Imagine planting seeds. You water them once, maybe twice, and give up. Nothing grows. But if you water those seeds every day, rain or shine, eventually you have a garden. That garden is your life, your career, your dreams. That's what happens when you are consistent. The work you do today might not show tomorrow, but it will show tenfold in the future. And the best part, once you start seeing results, you can't stop. You've become unstoppable. So, ladies and gentlemen, the choice is yours. Will you show up today, tomorrow, and the next day, no matter what? Will you be so consistent that life has no choice but to notice? Will you become unstoppable? I'm telling you right now you can. You just have to show up. Every single day. That's the power of consistency. That's the key to being unstoppable. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something that most people don't understand. Success is not about luck, and it's not about waiting for the perfect moment. It's about showing up consistently day in and day out, even when you don't feel like it. You see, most people fail not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they stop too soon. They get discouraged, they hit a bump in the road, and they quit. But the people who make it, the ones who are unstoppable, they understand a simple truth: you don't need to be great today. You just need to show up consistently. Think about the world's most successful people. You think they got there overnight. No, Steve Jobs didn't create the iPhone in one day. Oprah didn't become a media queen overnight. LeBron James didn't become the king of basketball overnight. Every one of them showed up day after day, putting in the work when nobody was watching. They practiced when it was hard. They kept going when it was boring. They did the work when they had every reason to quit. And that is exactly what consistency is. It's the habit of showing up, not because it's easy, but because you've decided that quitting is not an option. Now, I know what you're thinking. Steve, what if I don't see results immediately? I hear you, I've been there too. You can work and work and work, and it feels like nothing is happening. You send out resumes, you pitch your ideas, you practice your craft, and sometimes the world just ignores you. But here's the thing, every single action you take is planting a seed. It may not bloom tomorrow, it may not bloom next week, but keep watering it, keep showing up, and eventually that seed will grow into a tree that bears fruit beyond your imagination. Consistency is the secret fertilizer that makes your efforts grow. Let me give you a real-life example. When I started my career, I was doing stand-up comedy in small clubs. I was bombing more than I was winning. People laughed at me, ignored me, even told me I would never make it. But I didn't quit. I got on stage night after night, learning my craft, refining my jokes, studying the greats who came before me. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't easy. But every time I showed up, every night I got back on that stage, I was stacking small wins on top of each other. And eventually, those small wins became big wins. Eventually, people noticed. Eventually, I became unstoppable. And the only reason I got there was consistency. Consistency also builds confidence, and confidence breeds action. When you know that you have shown up, even when it was hard, you start trusting yourself. You start believing that you are capable. And when you believe, doors start opening. Opportunities come your way because the universe recognizes the person who never quits. People want to work with someone who is reliable, someone who can be counted on. That's the power of being consistent. It turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. So, ladies and gentlemen, stop waiting for motivation to hit. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Start showing up today and tomorrow and the next day. Be consistent with your goals, your work, your craft, your dreams. Don't worry about what others are doing. Don't compare yourself. Focus on your path and show up again and again. Because when you do, you're not just working towards success. You're building an unstoppable force that nothing and no one can stop. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about something that most people overlook when they chase success, and that is trust. Not just the trust of others, but the trust you build in yourself and the trust people place in you because of your consistency. You see, consistency isn't just about showing up for your goals. It's about showing up for people, showing up for your promises, and showing up in a way that proves you are reliable day in and day out. When you are consistent, people notice. They start to believe in you, they start to follow you, and they start to invest their time and energy in you. Think about it. In life, people want to do business, collaborate, and build relationships with someone they can count on. Nobody wants to rely on someone who's unpredictable, who shows up when it's convenient or disappears when it's hard. But when you show up consistently, even when nobody is watching, you are building an invisible bond with the people around you. They begin to trust that when you say you'll do something, you'll do it. They trust that when times get tough, you won't run. They trust that your word is your bond. And in life, trust is everything. Without it, doors stay closed. With it, doors open, opportunities come, and partnerships flourish. Consistency also builds self-trust, which is even more important. There are going to be moments when nobody believes in you, when nobody sees your potential, when nobody applauds your efforts. But when you have consistently shown up for yourself, you know your own worth. You know that you are capable of doing the work, even when the world doubts you. That kind of self-trust is priceless because it gives you the courage to keep going when it would be easier to quit. You start believing that no matter what, you have what it takes to handle life. And when you believe in yourself like that, you become unstoppable. Let me tell you a story. When I first started in entertainment, I had nobody in my corner. I was broke, sleeping on couches, making jokes in small clubs to empty rooms. Nobody trusted that I would make it. I didn't have fans, I didn't have a network, and I certainly didn't have a safety net. But I showed up anyway. I kept going back on stage night after night, working on my craft, learning from every mistake. I was consistent, and slowly, people started to notice. Club owners began trusting me to draw a crowd. My peers began trusting that I was serious. And eventually, audiences began trusting me to entertain them. That trust was built one consistent action at a time, and it became the foundation of everything that followed. Consistency doesn't just build trust with people, it builds credibility. It tells the world that you are serious about your goals. serious about your craft, and serious about your commitments. And credibility attracts opportunity. People want to invest in someone they can count on. They want to collaborate with someone who doesn't give up halfway. And most importantly, they want to learn from someone who consistently produces results, day after day, no matter the circumstances. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to become unstoppable, you have to be consistent not just with your work, but with your integrity. Show up, deliver, and follow through. Be the person people can trust, not just with promises, but with their time, energy, and dreams. Because consistency doesn't just create results, it creates trust. And once trust is established, there is no stopping the momentum that comes with it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a moment to talk about something that most people underestimate, and that is habits. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They are the things you do automatically, the routines that shape your days, and ultimately the person you become. And here's the key: consistency is what transforms ordinary actions into powerful habits. You see, showing up once or twice is not enough. Doing something sporadically won't change your life. But when you do something consistently over time, it becomes a habit, and that habit can take you places you never imagined. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't wake up every day wondering if you should brush or not. You do it because it's a habit. That habit keeps your teeth healthy. That habit didn't appear overnight. You built it over time by doing it consistently. Now, imagine applying that same principle to your work, your dreams, and your goals. If you practice your craft every single day, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's boring, eventually it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it no longer relies on motivation. It no longer relies on inspiration. It becomes a part of who you are. I want to be honest with you, forming habits is not glamorous. At first, it's hard. At first, it's uncomfortable. You're going to want to quit. You're going to want to skip the workout, skip the writing, skip the practice. But here's the thing: the moment you push through and do it anyway, you are building your character and your habit at the same time. You are telling yourself that you are someone who follows through. You are someone who shows up no matter what. That's how unstoppable people are made, not by occasional bursts of effort, but by relentless, consistent action that eventually turns into habit. Let me give you a story. When I was starting in comedy, I didn't feel like practicing every day. I didn't always feel like writing new material or performing in front of an empty room. But I made it a habit. Every day I wrote something, even if it was small. Every day I practiced my timing, my jokes, my delivery. Some days it was painful. Some days I failed miserably. But I showed up anyway, day after day. Eventually, what had started as forced effort became second nature. Performing, writing, and thinking like a professional comedian became a habit. And that habit transformed my life. It made me unstoppable because the work no longer felt like work. It was just who I was. Habits are also powerful because they create momentum. Once you have the habit of showing up, it starts affecting other areas of your life. You start waking up earlier. You start managing your time better. You start taking better care of yourself. That's the compounding effect of consistency turning into habit. One small habit leads to another, and before you know it, you have a lifestyle built on positive, unstoppable actions. And that's exactly how you achieve extraordinary results. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't underestimate the power of doing small things consistently. Don't think that missing a day or two won't matter. Every day counts. Every action stacks. Every repetition shapes your habits and ultimately shapes your future. Consistency is the bridge between effort and habit is the engine that drives unstoppable success. When you make showing up a habit, nothing and nobody can stand in your way. That is the power of consistency transforming your life one habit at a time. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about momentum. Momentum is one of the most powerful forces in life, and the only way to create it is through consistency. You see, momentum doesn't happen by accident. You don't wake up one day and suddenly have everything going your way. Momentum is built one small action at a time, day after day, until suddenly the weight of your effort starts pushing you forward faster than you ever imagined. That's why consistency is so important. It's the engine that creates unstoppable momentum. Think about a car. When it's parked, it's not going anywhere. It takes effort to get it moving. You have to turn the key, push the pedal, and start driving. At first, it might feel slow, it might feel hard, but once the car gets moving, it gains speed and it becomes easier to drive. That's momentum. And life works the same way. The more consistently you show up, the more you keep putting in the work, the faster and stronger your momentum grows. And once you have it, it becomes almost unstoppable. Obstacles still come, setbacks still happen, but your momentum carries you through them. Now, I know some of you are thinking, Steve, I've tried before and I can't seem to get moving. I get it. We all have. There were times in my life when I felt like I was stuck in the mud, trying to get ahead, but nothing seemed to work. But here's the thing, momentum doesn't care about your past. Momentum cares about your present and your commitment to consistency. Every small action you take today adds a little more speed, a little more force to your life. It might not feel like it now, but if you don't quit, if you keep going, that momentum will catch up to you, and it will carry you farther than you ever imagined. Let me give you an example. When I started in comedy, I was performing in tiny clubs, sometimes to just a handful of people. The pay was small, the conditions were tough, and most nights I felt like giving up. But I showed up anyway, night after night, performing, learning, adjusting, improving. At first, the progress was slow, almost invisible, but because I was consistent, momentum started to build. Doors opened, audiences grew, people started noticing my work, and opportunities multiplied. What seemed impossible in the beginning became inevitable because momentum was on my side. Momentum also changes the way the world interacts with you. When you are consistent, other people start to notice your movement. They see someone who doesn't quit, who doesn't stop, who keeps going no matter what. And when they see that, they want to be a part of your momentum. Doors open, partnerships happen, opportunities appear that would never have existed if you hadn't been consistent in the first place. Momentum attracts more momentum. It's a force that compounds, like interest in a bank account. And the best part, once you start moving, it becomes harder for life to stop you. Here's the truth. Consistency is the secret weapon of unstoppable people. It's what separates those who sit and dream from those who move and achieve. Consistency may feel small, invisible, even boring at first, but every small action stacks, every step builds speed, and before you know it, you are moving faster than life can try to slow you down. That is the power of momentum. That is the power of being consistent. Keep showing up, keep pushing, keep taking action, and soon, nothing will be able to stand in your way. You will be moving forward with unstoppable force, and life will have no choice but to notice. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something important about life. It is not going to be easy. You will face failures, setbacks, disappointments, and moments where you feel like giving up. That is inevitable. But here's the thing that most people don't understand. It's not the failures that define you. It's how you respond to them. And the only way to respond effectively is by being consistent. Consistency builds resilience, and resilience is what makes people unstoppable. Think about it. When you show up every day, even when life knocks you down, you are training yourself to handle adversity. Every challenge you face, every setback you overcome, becomes a building block for your strength. You start realizing that failure is not the end of the road. It's just part of the journey. Consistency teaches you that no matter what happens, you have the ability to keep going. And once you internalize that lesson, you become nearly invincible because nothing can stop a person who refuses to quit. Let me be clear, resilience is not something you're born with. It is built over time through repeated action. Imagine trying to lift a weight. You start with a small dumbbell and it feels heavy. You struggle, your muscles ache, and you think about giving up, but you keep lifting it day after day, gradually increasing the weight. Eventually that weight feels light, and you are capable of lifting far more than you ever thought possible. That's exactly how consistency builds resilience in life. Every time you push through, every time you refuse to quit, you strengthen your inner muscles. You become capable of handling more, enduring more, and achieving more than you ever thought possible. Let me give you a personal example. When I was starting out in comedy, I faced rejection after rejection. I bombed on stage in front of empty rooms. People laughed at my dreams, dismissed my efforts, and questioned my ability. But I showed up anyway. Day after day, I wrote jokes, I performed, I studied, I learned, I improved. Every failure was like lifting that heavy weight I just talked about. Every rejection, every embarrassing moment made me stronger. And over time, I developed a resilience that carried me through the toughest moments of my career. That resilience didn't come from talent, it came from consistency. Resilience also gives you confidence. When you know you can handle setbacks, when you know you can keep showing up no matter how hard life gets, you stop fearing failure. You stop letting obstacles control you. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. Instead, you move forward with courage, knowing that even if things get tough, you have the strength to endure and the determination to keep going. That is the kind of unstoppable mindset that changes everything. Here's the truth: life will try to break you, and it will test you in ways you never expected. But if you are consistent, if you keep showing up, keep doing the work, keep taking action, then no setback can hold you down for long. Each challenge you face becomes fuel. Each obstacle becomes an opportunity to grow stronger, and each failure becomes a lesson that propels you forward. Consistency is what turns ordinary people into resilient, unstoppable forces who can handle whatever life throws at them. So, ladies and gentlemen, understand this: the world is going to test you, push you, and challenge you. But your ability to stay consistent, to show up no matter what, is what will make you resilient. And resilience is what separates the people who give up from the people who achieve greatness. Keep showing up, keep moving forward, and no matter how many times life knocks you down, you will rise stronger, tougher, and unstoppable. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about the power of multiplying results. Most people think that success comes from doing one big thing, one perfect action, one lucky break. But that's not how life works. Real success comes from consistent action. Every small effort you put in, every little step you take, adds up over time. And when you keep showing up, those efforts don't just add, they multiply. Consistency doesn't just create progress, it compounds your results, and that is what makes you unstoppable. Think about it like this. If you save $10 a day, after 1 week you have $70. After a month, you have $300. After a year, you have $3,600. That's the power of consistency. One small action, repeated daily, creates a result far greater than the effort itself. And the same principle applies to your life, your work, your goals, and your dreams. Every time you take consistent action, every time you do the work, even when it feels small or insignificant, it is stacking, it is multiplying, it is building the foundation for extraordinary results. Let me give you an example. When I first started in comedy, I didn't have big stages, fancy contracts, or millions of fans. What I did have was consistency. I wrote jokes every day, I practiced my timing every day, I performed whenever I could. Some days it was just a few minutes. Some nights it was in front of a handful of people. But every action, every effort, every moment of showing up multiplied over time. Opportunities started appearing that I couldn't have imagined at the beginning. Doors opened, audiences grew, networks noticed, and contracts came. What looked like small, ordinary effort at first had multiplied into an unstoppable career. Consistency also multiplies your learning. Every time you show up and take action, you learn something new. You learn what works, what doesn't work, how to improve, how to adjust, how to get better. And those lessons compound. A mistake today becomes wisdom tomorrow. A failure today becomes a strategy for success in the future. And the more consistent you are, the faster you learn, and the faster your results multiply. Knowledge and experience are not static. They grow exponentially with consistency. Here's the truth: the world rewards those who show up. It rewards persistence. It rewards people who are willing to take small actions consistently while everyone else is waiting for a miracle or a shortcut. Most people quit too soon because they don't see immediate results. But consistency is patient. It doesn't rush, it doesn't panic, it doesn't stop. And because of that, the results it produces are exponential. The person who shows up every day doesn't just progress, they multiply their impact, their influence, and their achievements beyond measure. Consistency also multiplies confidence and credibility. Every time you follow through, every time you honor your commitments, Every time you take action when others won't, people notice. They begin to see you as someone reliable, someone capable, someone unstoppable. And as your reputation grows, so do your opportunities. That is how results multiply in ways you cannot predict. What starts as a small effort becomes a tidal wave of progress, opportunities, and influence. So, ladies and gentlemen, understand this: the key to multiplying results is simple. Show up, do the work. Keep going even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when nobody is watching. Because every action, every effort, every moment of consistency is compounding, stacking, and multiplying. And before you know it, the life you imagined, the success you dreamed of, and the impact you long to make will become unstoppable. Consistency doesn't just move you forward, it multiplies your results and makes you a force that nothing can stop.
The most important decision of your life is deciding whether you're truly committed to being happy no matter what. Because life is going to throw all kinds of curveballs at all of us. So the greatest gift you could give yourself is, I believe, to make that decision and say, life is too short to suffer. It doesn't matter what happens. You're going to find something in it to enjoy and appreciate.
You find what you're looking for. You want to get sad? Go read all the negative stuff. It's there, unlimited. You want to be happy? Go find all the free content around happiness, self-fulfillment, positivity. It's all there. You find what you're looking for.
I'm not an advocate of toxic positivity or rose-colored glasses necessarily, but I do believe that you get to choose the thing that you're going to go looking for. And if you can get up and say, I'm going to go out and find some evidence of a good day, the likelihood of you having one is just higher.
That gratitude allows me to have perspective at the end of the day, as opposed to focusing on all the horrible things or the bad stuff. It brings me back to perspective that my life is amazing, even if it's horrible. My life is amazing, even if it's the worst day ever and everything's against me. I lose all my money and something else bad happens. It's still incredible.
You focus so much on the negative that you forget all the positive. And then when you do think about the positive, you're not putting the energy in the positive like you put in the negative. I know how to talk negative just like you know how to talk negative, but it don't work. It don't help nobody. Because if I put my energy into something negative, automatically my body's going to respond and I'm going to start doing negative stuff. I was homeless too. My father wasn't in my life too. I've been in struggles too. But I've come to realize that when you think optimistically and you speak positively, you can speak those things which are not as though they were. You can say certain things out your mouth and make it happen.
Positive thinking is not about being delusional. Positive thinking is about learning how to take control of internal processes and understanding that that will shape your external environment. But it's about remaining in control of the internal landscape. It's about knowing that despite shifts in the external landscape, you're going to be okay.
This wave of betrayal, this wave of fear, this wave of grief, this wave of frustration, this wave of feeling stuck, this wave of feeling hopeless, it's temporary. It will come and it will go. And when you realize that emotions are temporary, it also gives you perspective to know that something better is coming.
One of my mentors, she had this business card that she used to give out to people. And it said that her greatest regret in life is trading in what she wanted in the bigger picture for what she wanted in that moment. And I always think about my life in that way of, is this what I want for the greater good, for my story to be, or am I acting at a place of desire? Am I acting at a place of wanting to change the way that I feel right now, knowing that that will hinder me? That's not really what I want. What place am I coming from?
Smart people like the idea of being cynical because it seems like you've considered all of the options. Only somebody that's a smooth-brained idiot would believe that things are going to go well, but it fails to recognize that your experience of your life is largely determined by the story that you tell yourself about it.
Well, I think it's the idea of going, look, you can change the way that you think about things. So I was thinking about things I can do this narrow bandwidth of things. My belief system, the assumptions I'd made about life. Well, you can get a job and you can work for someone. And after you get a job and you work for 40 years, you get a pension and then you get the pension. I was on a conveyor belt.
Sure.
When suddenly I went, oh, I can believe anything. I could believe that I could do anything. I could believe that I could be the guy on the TV show telling jokes. And you can. What you believe dictates your life. You'll be the barrier. You'll be the thing that stops you.
Life itself is what we deem it.
That's exactly right. It is what we deem it. And so you have to be relentlessly protective of the information that you take in, the thoughts that occupy your mind, the people that you surround yourself with. Because all of those things are influence factors. Another Stoic philosopher once said that, you know, when you leave your house and when you come back that night, you come back as a different man. You're never the same man coming back, right? Well, you're either coming back as a better human, more transcendent, more aware, more connected, or not.
So every single day for me, it starts at, ground zero. I'm humble and I'm listening and my mind is open. And this is what I've seen. And this is what I can tell you about. Everything that I look at, I try and look at from a humble perspective. If you don't do that, it's going to be
limited envy and jealousy. And I leaned into optimism and gratitude. If you're deeply unhappy, instead of blaming everyone else for it, put in the work to get out of it. Because you can. I believe in people. I fucking believe in you.
Working on yourself, talking to yourself. That's so very important. Overcoming the negative conversation, that inner dialogue that's going on all the time. Even when you don't want it to be there. You can't stop yourself right now from thinking. You can't do it. It's going on. And so learning how to empower yourself, part of doing that is standing up to yourself. You've got to stand up inside yourself sometimes and say, shut up.
When are you going to realize that you got to get to a point and focus on the better things that are going to get you to the next level and beyond in your life?
Persistence, consistency, resilience, courage, establishing your priorities, mastering self-awareness, maintaining focus, believing that your help is coming. Because if your dream only requires you, it's not big enough.
Most people go through life never discovering what their talents are. Most people never develop their talents. They have skills and abilities, but if you don't nurture them, if you don't develop them, they will never serve you. Your gifts can take you many places if you develop your gifts.
All you got to do is realize that it's up to you to make a difference in your life.
The only reason you're not the best right now is because you don't believe you're the best now. And when you walk out this room, I want you to go in the mirror and tell yourself, I'm the best right now. He said, before you even become number one, start to proclaim it and say it long before it happens. So there are those of you who want to mimic their behavior. It's not their behavior you need. It's their mindset that you need. It's the way they think is what you need. You need to start to believe.
You have something that you brought to the universe. And that if you decide that my life deserved my developing this, what I do well, and becoming the best at it and mastering myself and seeing what I have within me. If you decide to drop your buckets where you are and develop your gifts, I grant you, you'll never ever be without. I grant you that your gifts will take you places that will literally amaze you. I grant you that if you begin to work to develop your gifts, you'll develop a strong sense of happiness. You'll get a larger vision of yourself, because part of beginning to get a larger vision of yourself, all of us need some area of our lives where we can have a feeling of competence. That people know when they think about this area, that's something you do. That you eat and sleep that. And that you do that. You do that. And people know it.
I don't care what it is that you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to give, how you're trying to evolve, what you are looking to become. Everything rises and falls on your perspective.
If you decide to maintain a sense of integrity with yourself. That if I speak it, I'm going to live it. It's who I am.
What price are you willing to pay to make the dream a reality?
But just look forward. Look forward to the best of you. Look forward to the mistakes you may make. Look forward to the failures that may come your way.
And don't give up on yourself. Don't throw the towel in so quickly. Many people give up on the 1-yard line.
It's up to you to understand that you do matter and that you got some work to do.
I would rather you confront, fight, and fail than for you just to settle for the comfort of remaining the same. Change is tough, but change is possible for some of you. The world's not going to become easier all of a sudden. No, as you mature, you're going to have more responsibilities, more things that people expect out of you. But the truth is, you can do hard things. The truth is, as long as there's breath in your lungs, there's hope in your heart.
Ask yourself, what's my dream? What's my dream?
You think you're just here to work on a job, pay the bills, keep a roof over your head, a car note, and then die? Come on. Give me a break. Raise the bar on yourself. Challenge yourself. Decide you're not going to be the same person. I want you to have the mindset that you're going to live an expanded vision of yourself. And you're going to go all in.
I don't know your name, but I know you have a dream. You may be listening to me in your closet, your bedroom, the gym, the car, the bus, the train, the plane. I don't know where you're going, but I know you are going somewhere. You've got a destination. Keep a no excuse mentality. Then the sky is not your limit. The sky is your starting point. I never get turned off. Every single day, I want my destiny. I want my dream.
You got to have this vision of yourself beyond your circumstances. You've got to see yourself every day. I can do this. I can make this happen. I'm blessed and highly favored. Good things are supposed to happen to me. You've got to see yourself every day and get out of your mind those old thoughts, that old belief system. Every day you've got to sell yourself on that it's possible. See, let me share something with you. The easiest thing I've ever done was to earn $1 million. The most difficult thing I've ever done was to believe it could happen to me.
We all want to do something. We all want to be somebody. We all want to go somewhere. If these things are going to happen, we've got to stop habitually gravitating to excuse. You've got a destiny to fulfill. You've got a purpose to walk into. You've got a test to pass. You've got dots to connect, rooms to walk in, stages to stand on, and tables to sit down at.
But you got to put a new mind in you. You got to get out of your mind. You got to begin to restructure your thinking.
I'm ready to do this for my family. I'm ready to do this for my mother. I'm ready to win for my father. I'm ready to make history and ready to do something that nobody ever thought I could do.
And we mistake the fact that we're supposed to be comfortable 24/7. Well, let me tell you something. Comfortable is equivalent to complacent.
It's not always about the accomplishment. It's about the effort.
I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I want to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence, the thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid, to face the world boldly and say, this I have done.
Who doubts you? I'm worried when you doubt you. Because when you doubt you, you can't get nothing done. When you doubt you, every little thing that gets in your way turns you back. When you doubt you, all of a sudden things just seem to be harder. But out of everybody who doubts you, you can't doubt you. You got to believe in you. You got to believe in your ability. You got to believe that you can win.
We get one opportunity to come this way. We get one shot. We got one life to live. Life is too short to make excuses.
So I just came to talk to the game changers and to the change agents who are willing to confront any part of you that's not speaking to your madly, wildly amazing future.
When somebody is in love with who they've been called to become, what they've been called to fulfill, what they've been destined to do, there is no day off.
I'm telling you, don't wait another moment. Don't wait another day. Don't wait another minute.
It's lonely. It's challenging. It requires discipline. It requires perseverance. It's a mindset. It's not over until I win.
People that make excuses are not connected to their destination. They don't have an end game. They don't have a goal. You have allowed yourself to become a weak link covered under the blanket of excuses. But I'm just wondering if there's anybody here that has a dream.
I am ready. Come on. I am ready. Come on, let me hear you. I am ready. One more time. I am ready.
The pen has always been in your hand. I say write a story that's going to be damn good to read. And ask yourself, what's my dream? What are you willing to do that you've never done before? What are you willing to say that you've never said before?
When you live like a warrior, you are vigilant, you are courageous, you take initiative, you're ambitious, you have an expanded vision of yourself. You're going to take some chances on you. You're going to bet on you. You don't settle for any and everything when you're a warrior. And you got to be in fight mode. You got to be ready to fight. Life is a fight for territory. Once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over.
This is the year for reset. This is the year for restart. This is the year for reignite. This is the year for repeat the things that you love. This is the year for recommit. This is the year for redesign. This is the year for reengage. This is the year for restart. This is that year.
Fight like a warrior and die a legend.
If you want to start to feel happy, it starts with you wanting to feel happy. We like to sit and dwell. We like to sit in our own sadness. Make sure you're spending time every single day, whether it's 15, 20 minutes, whether it's an hour, 2 hours. Take time to allow your mind separation from the stresses of your day. If you expect to fail, you will fail. On the other hand, if you expect to win, you will win. And he's right, because doctors and psychologists, both alike, they agree that worrying actually does shorten your life, and it does damage your body. We need to clear our thinking before we go to sleep. We're talking about a book that Norman Vincent Peale wrote, The Power of Positive Thinking. Let's kick this off with golden nugget number 1, creating your own inner happiness. You are responsible for your own happiness, because unhappiness is usually the byproduct of you thinking sad thoughts, you having these negative feelings, you having resentment towards others, and just having an overall crappy outlook on life. So if you think those things, what do you think is going to happen? You have to force yourself to not think those negative thoughts. Peel says we have to get into the happiness habit by thinking upbeat, cheery thoughts throughout the day. We like to sit and dwell. We like to sit in our own sadness. I don't like to do that, but I just know that sometimes my brain forces me to do that, and I don't know why. So I have to force myself to not do that. I have to put on upbeat music. I have to go do something productive. I have to get in the gym. I have to go hang around friends that are going to make me laugh. And it's tough. At first, it doesn't feel right. It feels like you're forcing it because you are forcing it, but eventually it starts to make you feel better. There are miracles happening all around you. There is beauty all around you. Open your eyes and look. Can you see the sun shining? Great. Can you hear the birds chirping? Great. Can you feel the warmth of the sun on your skin? Awesome. There's simple beauties all around us. If you want to start to feel happy, it starts with you wanting to feel happy. So short circuit those negative thoughts. And when you start to feel bad, when you start to find yourself gossiping, feeling guilty, feeling angry, feeling whatever it is you're feeling that's negative, turn that around. Force yourself to think positively, do positive things. And while it doesn't feel right at first, keep going. You're on the right path. Golden nugget number 2, the antidote to anxiety. People waste a lot of their time, a lot of their energy fuming and fretting about things that they cannot control. Go back to Covey's principle. Circle of concern, circle of influence. Focus only on those things in the circle of influence. Everything else in the circle of concern, you can't control. You can't affect that. So move on. Don't allow your mind to just spend time in that space. You're wasting your mind's energy. So as part of this antidote to anxiety, Peel says that we need to slow down to relieve our anxiety and to attain peace. And he suggests meditation. He suggests that we devote at least 15 minutes daily to calming and relaxing ourselves by thinking peaceful thoughts or not thinking anything at all. So something he shares in the book is to help get rid of the tendency to worry and get angry, we need to relax and spend a few minutes thinking about beautiful, peaceful settings, hearing the birds chirping, feeling the sun on our face, all these things that I was talking about before, where it's just a matter of you actually thinking that in your mind. Wherever you are, if you're at work, if you're in your house, it doesn't matter. Close your eyes and open your mind to maybe a place where you were on vacation before. And go there for 15 minutes. Smell the smells. Feel what the sand feels like on your feet. Feel yourself plunging into the ocean. So the antidote to anxiety, it's all about clearing your mind. However you choose to do that, make sure you're spending time every single day, whether it's 15, 20 minutes, whether it's an hour, 2 hours, if you're working out at the gym, whether you're doing yoga, whether you're going to cycling class, whatever. Take time to allow your mind separation from the stresses of your day. Golden nugget number 3, expect the best. If you expect to fail, you will fail. On the other hand, if you expect to win, you will win. So, what seeds are you planting in your mind? Are you planting seeds of positivity or seeds of negativity? So what? Your life is going to give you back more of that. Are you planting seeds of, doubt and, I'm not going to make this work or something bad is going to happen? If you're planting seeds of that, guess what you're going to get? More of that. Start focusing on the positive. Start focusing on how things can go right. And guess what? When things go wrong, say, there's a lesson in that for me. Because life doesn't happen to me, it happens for me. So everything that's happening is there to teach me a lesson. This isn't a setback, it's a set up. Thing that's really bad, it happened for a reason. I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to get better. Golden nugget number 4. Worry not. And he's right, because doctors and psychologists, both alike, they agree that worrying actually does shorten your life and it does damage your body. We need to clear our thinking before we go to sleep. And we need to imagine our worries flowing out of our body like water out of a glass. So don't think that my path is the right path. No. This path is good for me. I replaced worry with hope by putting together goals. I put together 3 goals, a financial related goal, a health related goal, and a professional related goal. Something that what I was going to do with my life. And back in the day when I was going through those stresses, I was worrying a lot. I was having a tough time sleeping. I was having chest pains. My heart was palpitating all the time. And I really just could not get, a high level of satisfaction in life. And, if you were saying on a scale of 1 to 8, Ryan, again, 9s and 10s are reserved for very special times in our lives that seldom happen. I was sitting at a 4 consistently, where I would wake up and I'd all of a sudden feel the stresses of the day. I would pass between 3 and 4 all the time. So what I did was to replace that worry, that anxiety, that fear. I built myself a plan that gave me hope, goals that gave me hope, something that got me excited, something that I wanted to work towards, something I wanted to achieve because I knew that if I did, it would get me out of this mess and my life would be better as a result. Golden nugget number 5, problem solving. I had problems that I needed solutions to. I had desires, I had wants, I had dreams, I had goals that I needed a solution to. The crap show was a solution. Create Your 8 was a solution. But what I did need to do was take myself out of the busyness of the day and allow my mind to sort of free up and look for inspiration all around me and know that whatever solution I'm looking for, it's going to come to me. And this is where in this golden nugget in the book where Peele talks about, problem solving, he gives us 10 problem solving techniques, which many of them I believe with. The first one, believe that for every problem, there is a solution. So yes, believe that your problem can be solved. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, you don't have a solution right now, but there is a solution. And oftentimes there's more than one. 2, try to maintain your serenity as you address a problem. Don't feel anxious. Don't try to get angry and say, I'm not getting this. I don't understand. No, you need to be calm. You need to be hopeful that there's going to be a solution to this problem. Number 3, don't try to force an answer. Don't try to say oh my God, I need an answer by Saturday at noon. If I don't get it by Saturday at noon, then it's too late. Sometimes you can't force it. Life often happens for you. And so you just need time for that to reveal itself to you. Number 4, gather all relevant information. Pretty simple. Do as much research as possible. Number 5, write down all facts about the situation. Again, get understanding for the problem, what's going on. You need to get clarity on the problem so you can get clear on what solutions you need to solve it. Number 6, spend time praying about the issue you are confronting. Listen, if you're praying about it, that's fine. If you're not praying about it, maybe you're thinking about it. Always make time to think about it. When you're walking in nature, yes, take time to think in nature and allow your mind to flow. But when you separate yourself from the stresses, the anxieties, the busyness of the day, allow your time to think about solutions. Number 7, believe in and seek God's guidance on the promise of the 73rd Psalm. Thou wilt guide me by thy counsel. If you believe in the religious aspect of that will talk to you. That necessarily doesn't talk to me. So I maybe won't be using that one. 8, rely on your inner gifts of insight and intuition. There's things that we believe we should do, and then there's things that we know we should be doing. So you got to listen to yourself, and it takes time. It does take time. It takes patience. It takes some maturity for you to realize what you're great at. And sometimes you're doing something just to make a living, just because it's my job, it's my career, it's what I believe I'm great at. But you have other gifts within you that maybe you're not exploring yet, that you should be. Number 9, attend religious services where you can and listen peacefully and let your subconscious work on the problem. And you can go to church or you can just go for walks. I love going for walks, period. I'll put music on my ears and allow myself to think. Pretty simple. Pretend the answer that develops in your mind or comes to pass is the right answer. So I just allowed the thoughts that came in my mind. Whenever I had a thought, an inspired thought, I wrote it down on my phone. Pulled up my phone, opened up the notepad, and just wrote it down. At the end of the day, I would think about it, ponder on it, say, you know what? This idea is something I want to go further into and dig deeper into that. That's exactly how this show happened. That's exactly how Create Your 8 happened. And it's exactly how you're going to find solutions to your problems. Last but not least, golden nugget number 6, how to handle heartache. Now, everybody at some point in their life experiences heartache, and it's tough. And so Peele says that for us to get over heartache, we need to resist the heartache by staying busy. So if you're getting a divorce from your husband or your wife, if you just broke up with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, if you just lost a loved one, if a loved one passed away, a friend, a family member, doesn't matter who it is. He says that in order for you to get through it, you need to stay busy. You need to return to your normal activities as soon as possible after a loss or a defeat. And you need to resist the temptation to brood and feel sorry for yourself. I got to get back to work. I got to get back to my goals, get back in the gym, get back to eating right, get back to hanging out with my friends, my family, listen to the music that I was listening to. We have to return to life. But sometimes we just have to be sad and we have to work our way through it. But the key here is to not allow your mind to dwell on it for too long. That's not handling heartache. That's allowing heartache to take control of you and to win.